Hello everyone, welcome to Trains on Tuesday, 13th of March 2018. As you can see, we're beautiful and sunny. It's been like this for a few days now, but it's still cold. That's a south-facing slope on that hill. Down here in the yard, we still have snow. It'll be a few days yet before this all melts. So we're going to head off inside back down to the railway. See you shortly. So here we are back to the railway, coffee in hand. My B17 and 3 Thompson coaches making the circuit at the moment. First of all, this week, I'd like to say I'm humbled by the comments and the concern that all of you have shown after my last video. It appears I took you by surprise a little bit there. I want to assure you that nothing is really wrong that you should be concerned about. I just wanted to let you know that I may miss a week or two on videos, or perhaps not be quite so prompt on replying to comments. Over the past week it has developed that I can say that it's unlikely that we will miss any videos. I should be able to keep seeing you every Tuesday. Let's hope that does continue. Anyway, for this week it's going to be a continuation of last week. You may recall I said that by showing you the turntable project, turntable and roundhouse project, it might inspire me to get to work on it. It's a project I've had in mind for a long time, over a year. Haven't really done anything other than lay a few bits and pieces in place and get ideas of how it might look. Well, what I said last week worked. I have had a busy week here. I'm not complete by any means, but we'll do an update on the turntable, loco storage tracks, and roundhouse. So, grab your coffee, sit back, and hopefully enjoy. Before we do that, it's been a good week for subscribers too. I'm up another 4 subscribers already this week. It's not even a complete week as I do this. Absolutely amazing. So that was then, and this is now. You can see the turntable is in, the little 9-inch turntable. More about that in a little while. And I've got most of the track work in. Not wired yet. I have some temporary wires here on the turntable itself, and one track back here is powered. That's the lead track in to the turntable. The rest of the tracks I've put out to 15 inches, I think, from the turntable. That allows enough clearance for the engines. They can get back far enough that they're not bumping into each other as they approach the mini turntable. And that's where we're at so far. Now, looking across the other side, you can see I've done something a little different here. I've put a curved track in there and paralleled 2 tracks down there. So here's the story that goes into that. Some few years ago I purchased 3 of these buildings. Actually they came off of an estate sale layout that I purchased, and I'm not sure who the manufacturer of these buildings is, but I've got 3 of them and they're all just a little different. That one there, the Weekly Herald, quite a different end on here. I forget what you call that type of an end. Bricked up and arched. You can see the kits were never painted. Parts of the decorations around, the additions there are painted, but for the most part unpainted, deckled over, and so that's the printer's building. Now here we have the Superior Baking Company, blue bricks and mortar. Basically the same kit, same roof, different ends and a different treatment to the side here. There's this extractor goes here. There's a panel there that removes. I'm missing some windows here. I do have some of them. I may in fact have all of them. If not, I can brick in some of the windows when I go to use that. Now this building I think I'd like to use in this location. So what I've got in mind for it is for it to sit back here. So that would sit in there when all rebuilt and finished up. Bit of a shop building for the locomotive area, maintenance area. But getting back to this piece of track here, and the third kit that I have from this series of buildings. Now this one was unpainted like the others, but I have been to work on this one, and this one fits in right here. And where the gap was in the wall on the Superior Baking building, it just had a flat panel goes on there. This one came with an annex building, so that would sit on the side there. And this one has, as you can see, doors. It's a 2-track shed or maintenance building. So what I'm going to do with it is I'm going to put it there and use it as a car repair shop. So boxcars that have got bearings to be replaced, or broken ladders, or a tear in the insulation on an insulated boxcar or something like that. This is where it would go to get repaired, in there. So quite pleased with that. I'm going to remove that for a second. And show you another little piece here. Now I have every possible track opportunity bar one with track in it. Now this one here I'm not really sure what to do with. I've still a lot of work to do back here to double track this, but what I've done temporarily is just laid a point in here, and it aims back towards that. So I could add another track in there like that. That way I can approach the turntable from 2 different directions, effectively giving me a Y or triangle, as the British call it. But in honesty, I don't think that's what I'm going to do. It doesn't make sense to me to be able to approach a turntable from 2 different directions. And not only that, but let's get this building back into place again. With that building in there and this turnout coming off here, I can add a short piece of track in here, and then, excuse me if I get my arms in the way here holding the camera, I have a Nightwing model kit of oil tanks. So I think I'm going to set those up in here and have this track as a delivery track for oil tankers, diesel. So these are the diesel fuel tanks now for the locos. Exactly where the fueling point would be, I don't know. We're going to have to assume that it gets piped underground somewhere, because there's nowhere here to bring a loco in for fueling. Anyway, I think that'll add more interest to it. Having a track to deliver oil to the diesel fuel creates traffic on the railway for at least 3 tank cars. One being brought in here full, an empty one here to be taken out and returned to the refinery, and one at the refinery being filled. At least 3 tank cars on the railway, again with purpose, just a dedicated purpose, shuttling from the refinery to the engine terminals here. So there we go. Let's have a look at the facility loaded up with locomotives, shall we? So there we go. A busy locomotive service facility. Don't actually have any locos in the roundhouse at the moment being repaired, but that's what that would be for. Repairs in the roundhouse, otherwise locos stored outside around the turntable, and the car shops back in there along with the fuel facility. Lots of work yet to do. The roundhouse isn't fitted down yet, the tracks aren't fitted down in there. None of the tracks are wired, or almost none of them are wired. Temporary wiring to the turntable itself. More about this Atlas 9-inch turntable. I said in my previous video, Atlas can't seem to think beyond 9 inches. Their standard track length is 9 inches. All their bridges that they build are 9 inches. And this is 9 inches. Now, if you're dealing with something like a GP, general purpose locomotive, 4-axle, yeah, it'll fit. It'll fit on there and you can turn it. But by the time you get up to something like an SD40, where have I got an SD40? There's an SD40. By the time you get up to that, you're pushing it. And in fact, as you run the loco around this portion, turn it around here, it drags the couplers across there. You can power this turntable, by the way, and I do have a power unit for it, but it needs a new drive belt. So, SD40, you're pushing it. You can just get there. By the time you get up to something like an SD90 or SD43, you don't have a hope. It's just not going to fit. Just not going to fit at all. Okay, now I want to do a little shout out for a channel, and this is Oscar Paisley in Britain. If you are interested in trying railways, Oscar's your man. He puts a new video out every Sunday morning. Sunday morning for me anyway here. And this week he did Britannia. Trying Britannia. And I'm just stuck on the point there. So there we go, there's my Trying Britannia. And there again you can see no chance of fitting that on that turntable. It's a shame. I do have bigger turntables, but honestly I don't have the space here to fit them. So anyway, this is the project. Oscar Paisley, Britannia, this past week. Great channel on trying. If you want to learn about trying, Oscar teaches as he shows his beautiful collection on a absolutely classic trying layout. Do check him out. There we go. That's it for this week. Progress. Hope to see you again next week. Bye for now.